When I was 18, 19, I was literally the dude that was at HQ every weekend. I'd get home at 6 a.m. I'd listen to Hardstyle. I'll drink. I'll do drugs and just get home. And I was that person.
Yeah.
But now it's like I'm getting old and I'm like, it hurts my ears.
Yeah.
We all get old. People don't actually care how you look. The only people that care how you look are other people in the gym, and they only care about how you look because they want to look better.
Yeah. Alrighty. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Easy. Welcome back to another episode of Broadcast, and today I've got with me Riley, if you want to give an introduction to everyone.
My name's Riley. I am an online fitness coach as well as content creator, and excited to jump in and actually talk for once rather than just being behind the camera. So.
Yeah. Me and Riley have been talking back and forth on Instagram. We do have a lot of things we agree on, especially in the fitness industry. Yep. So we're going to talk all about that. And before getting more into the podcast, again, I want to tell you a little bit about the podcast. It's just conversation. It's not all fitness related podcast because we do believe that all the aspects of life fall in together. So we don't want to keep it all fitness related or maybe all life related. It's everything works in sync with each other. And well, we're going to get into it. But before that, subscribe right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. That was what I needed. So if you haven't watched any of the other videos, all of them are live on the channel right now. Sorry. But yeah, we'll get into it. I'm gonna have to take this one.
No, go for it.
Right, back to the podcast. Well, someone's buying protein for the first time and he was like, should I go for this?
What should I get? Yeah, my
yeah.
favorite one is,
because he's like, the guy's telling me that the other brand's 50% off and Optimum Nutrition's not 50% off. It's like,
it's not that much of a difference. Just get whatever. As long as it's an isolate, not a blend, that's going to be your biggest difference anyway.
Yeah.
But,
and even if you're I would say if you're relatively new in the gym and just start getting started, concentrate's going to be the way. You don't have to worry about isolate or concentrate because isolate's just more isolated.
Yeah.
And
then you get people that are like, oh, should I get casein or should I get whey? It's like just get whey, put it in your oats. Keep it simple. You don't need to eat a spoonful of cottage cheese before you go to sleep. You're not an elite athlete. Just get protein.
Just hit your protein goal.
Yeah.
Getting into the podcast, I want to start this podcast with some of the questions that I got on my Instagram story.
Yeah. Go
and similarly for the next one, I'll be putting up the Q&A sticker. And if there's anything you want us to talk about, drop me a message, drop down the questions in the stickers, and we'll talk about that in the next episode or whenever we meet again. But starting up, the first guy says, "Looking big." Thanks, bro. And then he's asking, why is gym good for mental health? What are your thoughts on this?
Good for mental health. Okay, so I'm happy to go a bit deep here because people look at people that go to the gym and the first thing they think of, egotistical, they're full of themselves and all that kind of stuff. One thing that a lot of, I'm going to say, younger men could relate to is that we don't have many people that we can just message and be like, hey man, having a bad day, or you can't just message your friends and be like, oh, let's go get a coffee, I need to talk about some stuff. It's just so stigmatized that that's unmanly and soft. So what do? We go to the gym, lift some heavy stuff. So it's for me, I think it's good for mental health because it's a place where you can just go in, do your own thing. Even if it's a half-assed session, you just get away from work, you get away from, could be your relationship, some friendships, could be family, and you just get a chance to just do whatever you want, listen to music, let out some demons, and then go home and be somewhat reset. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there's also this feeling of that you become someone that helps you get over the fact that you're not in the right position. For example, this is just purely an example. Your partner broke up with you or cheated on you, something like that, and that made you feel like, I'm not the best person on this planet.
Yeah.
And then you start going to the gym and maybe gradually you start seeing a couple changes. And the changes are making you look better, physically, they're helping you feel better about yourself. And you're like, okay, I have a new identity.
Yeah, I'm someone else.
Yeah, I'm someone else. And that kind of plays a role in making you happy mentally.
Yeah.
And not just this, if it's not just your physical or mental appearance about yourself, It's also that you don't have anywhere to vent your energy. So maybe you work at a retail store or something like that, and you can't fucking shout at customers. You can't shout at. You can't shout at.
You could, but you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, you probably get fired. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And there's a possibility that you this is not your dream job. You're just doing it for the money because you need it.
100%.
And then you get back home, everything's exhausting. You have to maybe make your meals. Maybe you have kids.
Yep.
Maybe you've got other work to do. Maybe you've got uni, and you just need something to get away. For some people, that is binge watching on Netflix. That's the same thing for some people. Just going to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I went through like a really kind of dark stage when I first started working full time. So I used to work in real estate, funnily enough. And I was 21, turning 22. And my days were wake up at 4 o'clock, go train 5 a.m., go work 12 hours, come home, no reset, sleep, do it all over again. And I was going through a rocky stage with my partner at the time. So for me, being home was probably more stressful than being at work. And then because I was at work all the time, I didn't want to be there. So I'd wake up and I'd start my day with training.
Yeah.
And it's at that time of the day, no one's calling you, no one's texting you. Most people aren't even awake. So when I was in there, I didn't have to think about all the other shit that was going on in my life. I could just train, get through everything, look at photos of C-bum halfway through and be like, that's me.
Yeah.
And then start to feel like like you said, I was someone else. I wasn't that person who was sitting behind a desk for, 10, 11, 12 hours a day. I like to think that I was an athlete.
Yeah.
So,
and this was when you were 22.
22, I was 21, just turning 22.
And how old are you now?
26.
So that was like 4 years ago.
Four-ish years ago.
Safe to say, fitness been playing a long role in your life.
Yeah, for a very long time. I started training when I was 17. I did it for sports.
Yeah.
And then it literally turned into therapy.
That's how I think it is for like most guys. Someone's playing footy, someone's playing soccer, someone's playing cricket.
Yeah.
They want to be under the highest level of performance in that sport, but they figure out that maybe it's going to be too hard, they're not genetically gifted, or maybe they get some bad injury that they can't play that sport anymore.
Yeah.
And gradually transition into the weights section, and they're like, oh, gym's my life now.
Yeah, this is actually what I enjoy. I started like literally training. I wanted to be like, I thought if I can get stronger and fitter, I'll be better at footy. And then when I was 20, I dislocated my shoulder, and I was like,
perfect example.
I was like, can't play footy anymore. So then I got into training, and I blew out. I got heavy, which can kind of turn the mental health thing on the other end of things, because you might experience it being close to comp now, but we've got severe body dysmorphia when you start going to the gym.
It's got just worse for me at the moment. I'll wake up, since I'm on low carbs, my body's flat as fuck. And then I'm like, am I even worthy enough to step on the stage?
Am I making the right decision?
Yeah.
I get you. So it's like you get to a point where you're like, I've put on all this muscle, I've put on all this size, and you end up kind of going one step forward, two steps back, because you almost feel like you don't look good enough. And then you look at someone else in the gym and you're like, well, they're bigger, stronger, leaner, more tanned, better beard.
Oh well, I'm already brown, so
yeah. So you're already good. I'm pasty. So like you look at them and you're like, am I chasing an unattainable goal?
Yeah.
And while the gym's good for mental health, being able to get you out of a slump, I found that sometimes it can put you in if you base your entire life on just going to the gym.
Yeah.
So you need to be multidimensional.
And it's kind of funny how body dysmorphia plays out.
Horrible.
Because you know that you're in a better position when compared to yourself, right? Yeah, like when you're in the gym, I have that feeling. When I get the pump, I look at myself, not being cocky or anything, this is just me being self-confident. I was like, man, I kind of look good.
Yeah.
Like, guys around me, they're working hard, but considering I've only been training for 2 years, the amount of progress that I've made, I've been accused of being on steroids sometimes. And that's like a compliment.
Gains.
yeah. I just used the newbie gains the right way. I didn't waste my time.
Yeah.
And then, even after knowing that I'm in such a good position, when just compared to myself, or when even compared to some other people, you look at yourself, because we're just fucking greedy. Like,
we want more. We always want more. It's never enough.
Yeah, you just never get satisfied. And I look at myself every morning, like as I said, and I'm like, Like I can't wait to fucking look like Chris Bumstead.
Can't wait to cut. Can't wait to be bigger.
Yeah.
Should I do a cycle?
When I'm on my bulk, I was like, I can't wait to cut. Now that I'm like 5 weeks away from the comp, I'm like, I kind of want to get back on the bulk, get bigger because I'm feeling small now.
I want to eat. I want to fuel myself. It's tough.
Yeah, and as I've said, for mental health, certain events that happen in your life, the gym can help you kind of grab your attention away from that thing.
Yeah.
Like for me, when things went south with my partner at the time, that time that I used to spend with her, I still had that time, so I just increased my gym time to get rid of the time, because at that time I was just feeling like, okay, this part of the day feels a bit weird because I was used to being with someone at this time.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
And now what do? I fucking just go to gym, increase the time by 30-40 minutes every day, and just stay there for like a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. It changes everything, and like in the sense of when people see, I've been at the gym for, like, my training itself probably takes anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes, depending on what I'm training, who's there, how many sets I've got, all that kind of stuff, if I can be bothered. But when people say, you've been at the gym for 2 hours, it's like they don't factor in the sense of I went for a half an hour walk on the treadmill because I had a bad day and I don't want to go home just yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, not so much now, but in the past when like my ex-partner would like come over all the time, there were times where I genuinely didn't want to put up with what was going to happen. So I would just be like, you know what, I'll stay at the gym for another half an hour and I'll get my steps done. And I'll look at my watch, I've done 14,000 steps for the day. And I'm like, all right, it's probably time to go home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thanks for the question. I'll give you a shout out. Your name's Elijah. I hope I'm not butchering your name. That was a great question, brother. All right. The next question that we have on here today. Best advice for cutting.
Best advice for cutting.
Coming from the coach himself, please guide us.
Ooh, I think the biggest key would be don't go too hard too early. Because as soon as you go too hard too early, it's very, very hard to rein it back.
Yeah.
And I guess it depends on, you need reasons around why you're cutting. So you're a perfect example. You're cutting because you've got a show. That's to do with a sport. That is something I'll encourage. People don't actually care how you look. The only people that care how you look are other people in the gym, and they only care about how you look because they want to look better.
Yeah.
So when it comes to cutting, I think keep your cows at a good level. Don't go from 2,800 down to 2,200 and be like, I'll stay here and I'll increase my cardio.
Yeah.
You got to do it smart, but you've also got to do it for the right reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. At the end of the day, while being shredded, being lean, looking good is fantastic, the quality of life far outweighs any looks.
I'm a perfect example. I'm going to zoom in on my face. If you can see, my face is shouting more carbs at the moment, but I can't eat them. And see, you feel your worst to look your best.
100%. It's the only bodybuilding is one of the only sports where you actually need to be at your physical worst to be at your physical best. Isn't that ironic? Like, look at females, for example. Like, advice for females when it comes to cutting is don't do it if you don't have to, because as females, you'll lose your reproductive cycle. You'll lose your period. Your quality of life goes down the drain. Everyone knows how moody I can get when I'm hungry. So if that's me 24/7 just so I can look a certain way, and if I don't look the way that I want to look, how am I going to be? I'm just going to dig a deeper hole for myself. So
definitely. And one of the most important things based on cutting, what I would say is figure out if you actually need to cut yet.
Don't do it too early.
Yeah, just for example, because my audience is kind of like more towards the beginner side.
Yeah.
If you're just starting up, maybe you've started out, you've been training 8 months, and you're eating like 2,200 calories, 2,500 calories, and you're not like buff. But because I got a message from this guy the other day, bro, I've been bulking up for like the last 5 weeks. I think it's time for a cut. And I'm like...
5 weeks?
Yeah,
Jeez.
like 5 weeks is kind of not a lot of time, bro.
Yeah.
Because you need like 8 weeks to at least see a little bit of change on your body.
Yeah.
That is why people do 8-week and 12-week challenges, because that's like the time period your body would, like, everyone's body is different, but your body would take to show you some changes. And I was like, all right, send through some pictures, and I'll see if you like...
If you actually need it.
Yeah. he sends me his pictures from the time, because he found me from TikTok. So from the time he sent me his first pictures to now, he has gained a little bit of muscle, but I still don't see any fat.
Yeah.
And he went from 70 kilos to 72 kilos, which is good. Considering that he's been bulking for just 5 weeks.
5 weeks, and if he hasn't put on any fat, that's like nice lean muscle.
Yeah, it was like 2 kilos. And I was like, bro, honestly, if I was you, I wouldn't go on a cut.
No.
And he took that advice. He's like, all right, I'm going to keep bulking.
Yeah.
But at the back of my mind is like, how long is he going to keep doing it? Because if he's already thought about cutting in just 5 weeks, maybe next 4 or 5 weeks he's going to get back to me, or maybe this time he doesn't get back to me, and just because he's got that mindset that he wants visible abs and stuff.
Yeah.
He is going to go for a cut, and eventually the muscle that he's gained, he's a newbie.
Yeah,
he's going to lose that, and the worst thing that you can do is give up on your newbie gains.
100%. If I could do my time again, I was in a different scenario because I'd played footy, like Aussie rules footy, since I was 6 years old. So the time when now would be my bulking time or my growing phase, being winter from pretty much April till September, that's footy season.
Yeah. So
I've grown up being relatively leaner, fitter in that time of the year than any other year.
Yeah.
So I'd lost the chance for all of my newbie gains very quickly because I wasn't fueling myself right. So when it comes back to the question of best advice for a cut, the first thing you got to realize is, do I actually need to cut?
Yeah.
And if I do, how do I do it properly? Don't just drop quickly. Don't just throw everything out the window, because while there is physical things you want to chase, the worst thing you can do is ruin your relationship with food.
Yeah, and your partner.
And then everything goes out the window and you burn bridges and you risk yourself getting injured and all that kind of stuff. It's just, to me, it's not worth it. I would rather live my life at maintenance and be a little bit fluffier, but be stronger, not have to be at a family event and be like, oh, sorry, I know it's my nephew's first birthday, but I'm going to say no to cake because I've only got 2,300 calories. Like, fuck that, man. I'd rather enjoy my life, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, but I like all of my clients, whether they're bulking, cutting, or maintaining, I start them at maintenance for 2 weeks regardless, because they might say, oh, I'm eating 2,200 calories, but are they eating 2,200 calories?
Yeah.
What's their maintenance? Are they actually in a deficit like they think they are?
Yeah, and a lot of times people don't really count the small things, like putting 10 grams of sauce with their meal.
Yeah.
Mayo, or maybe like
garlic aioli or something.
Yeah, yes, garlic aioli.
Yeah.
And that's like, there goes 90 calories. There goes 100 calories, bro.
Mm.
And it depends on the brand that you're using.
Yeah.
And you're like, you thought you were eating 2,200 calories, but you've had sauce 3 times a day. That's like 300 calorie surplus. So these small things do make a difference.
Yep, they add up.
But if you have to go a lot into detail about cutting, message me, message Riley. If you need a coach, Riley certified. I'm not yet, but at some point we will be.
We're on the way.
Yeah. Oh, that's life. We're on the way to the fucking final destination.
Yeah, that's it. We're all getting there somehow.
All right. Next question is how to stop overeating or something like that.
How to stop overeating. All right, that.
Put the fork down.
Yeah, that's one of them. That is one of them. I guess one of the big things is the relationship with food and how that kind of transpires. Like if you're, there's two sides to the coin. If you're someone who has a proper eating disorder, that's where you would need to go speak to a specialist or a dietitian or a nutritionist, someone outside of our scope of practice. Whereas if it's someone who just finds that they're eating a lot at night time, I would reevaluate your day. Like, if you're someone who doesn't track your calories, it's a lot easier to overeat because you don't know how much you've consumed. And when it comes to the day and age that we live in, where you can go through a Macca's drive-through and get...
So easy.
Oh, so delicious though.
But it's been months for me.
You could go through and be like, oh yeah, I'll get a triple cheeseburger meal with large fries, full sugar Coke, and that's like 800 calories, right?
Yeah.
An hour later, you're hungry.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so easy to overeat when you don't have a good quality of food coming in. Whereas for me, if I was to eat a bowl of oats with mixed berries, protein, maybe like a tiny bit of dark chocolate, that will keep me full for like 3 hours. And that's like 450, 500 calories.
Plus it's it's clean and healthy.
Yeah, you got a serving of protein, you got a serving of fruit, you
Carbs.
get carbs, which is like everyone loves carbs. If you're someone who cuts carbs, stop doing that unless you're actually competing for a show like you. Different story. But if you kind of just watch everything on the internet and you go, carbs are bad after 6 p.m. Whether it's 5:59 or 6:01, a carb is a carb. It's not going to make any difference.
And this time, like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., consider your 24 hours, not the person you're watching video. Because you might be watching a fitness influencer's video. Yeah. He fucking sleeps at 10 p.m. So for him, 6 p.m. is different. And you sleep at fucking 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So his 6 p.m. is probably your like 8, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So it's completely different. And there's no, this is all a myth. Cut out certain foods after 6 or 7 p.m. and you're going to get shredded. No. This is stupid.
Yeah, it's energy balance. Calories in versus calories out. Obviously, you've got macronutrients, micronutrients. There's minerals. There's several factors that go into it. But in terms of overeating, I would stop cutting out foods you love.
Yeah. And
seeing good foods versus bad foods. Because in reality, there's not really anything about a good food and a bad food. There's an unhealthy diet, which is foods that aren't as nutritious, consumed over a longer period of time, and then there's obviously healthy diets, which is the opposite of that. But if you look at, let's say, a chicken salad compared to a cheeseburger, right? You look at it and people go, the chicken salad's better for you. But they're not realizing that actually in that cheeseburger, you've got a source of protein, carbs, and fats. It's actually a relatively nutritious meal when you take out eating it 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So for me, to get rid of overeating, it would be stop cutting out foods you love, start incorporating them into your diet, but everything in moderation, including moderation, because you can't be 100% switched on all the time, but you also can't beat yourself up if you have a Tim Tam. Just don't let one Tim Tam turn into 7 Tim Tams and then a packet. So that's where it spirals.
Definitely. And I don't know if this is the same thing that I'm going to talk about, but when I was at uni, I figured out that while I was doing my assignments, I definitely need to have something to munch on. Maybe not a lot of quantity of the food, but if my hand's working, something's going inside my mouth, I was able to concentrate better on the assignment.
Yeah.
And so if you're someone who is not overeating like that and just wants something to munch on, I go for like low calorie snacks, easy from the health food aisle, or even now because I want to have more food since I'm in a comp prep, I'm relying on like no sugar Coke, no sugar Mountain Dew,
Pepsi Max. If Pepsi Max would sponsor me one day, that would make
I
life.
drink Pepsi Max in place of no sugar Coke.
I will happily bathe in Pepsi Max. I live for Pepsi Max. But anyway.
The thing is, you drink like 300-400 mils of Pepsi Max, no sugar drink, any no sugar drink, even Monster, and you feel satiated for a bit. Yeah. It takes away your mind, like, I'm feeling hungry. Yeah. You drink that, it's like, I'm not that hungry now.
Yeah, it's actually, it tides you over because it keeps you occupied rather than just thinking about how hungry you are.
So if you're someone who's frequently eating, get low calorie snacks or get no sugar drinks. But if you're someone who's eating calorie dense foods and that is the reason for your overeating, I would probably say get more voluminous food with low calories. For example, replacing your rice with maybe potatoes because they're going to make you feel a bit fuller than rice.
Yeah. And potatoes are the most satiating food as well. So.
Yeah, so you got to have like, obviously, I'm like, not Riley, not me, no one expects you to know all this, but there's heaps of information out there available on YouTube. You're watching this video. You can just reach out to me, you can reach out to anyone, like people are more than happy to help. Like you'd be surprised. I do say that fitness industry is kind of toxic. It's getting toxic, but that is a separate fucking topic. It's going to lead to an hour conversation.
There's good and bad sides of the coin.
Yeah, but even though I say that fitness industry is a bit negative, it's also really supportive. Like people love to help new people. So don't hesitate to reach out, and you'll probably get a response.
Yeah, 100%. Like I actually remember this ages ago. I want to say start of the year. I saw you put up a video on TikTok, and I recognized it was Darren Norwood, and I commented on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this looks like Darren Norwood, and you're like, it is. And then we started following each other on Instagram, and then now we're here.
Yeah.
Like, that is how easy this stuff happens.
Yeah,
as long as you're not messaging someone.
Yeah, it's like literally making a gym bro. It's like
100%.
You see a guy, nothing happened. You see it the other day, you nod your heads. Third day, you have a fist bump. Fourth day, you're talking about, were you training? Fifth day, you're training together. So that's how it happens.
Exactly, and it's so easy when you actually leave the ego at the door and like just separate yourself from what everyone thinks the gym is, and you actually start talking to people. Like I've got clients that met me through seeing me at the gym. So it's like if I went in there and I had, obviously some days I've got my headphones in and I'm like, don't talk to me. But if I went in there every day looking like I can't be approached, I can't talk to anyone, and just kind of being a dickhead, then no one would want to talk to me, let alone reach out to me for guidance. Whereas I'm such an open person, and the gym culture being less toxic sometimes and more toxic other times, it's hard to navigate.
We're going to have an episode too, but talking about toxicity.
I would be more than happy to talk about the toxicity of the gym culture.
What are we sitting? We're sitting at like 26 minutes, and if we start that, it's going to lead up to fucking an hour.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to come back and go over that. That would be easy.
I have a lot to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because, just a quick thing, people are something on your face and then there's something behind your back.
Oh, 100%. I see it in the coaching industry as well.
And I'd rather have you be honest in front of me, and I'd respect you as a man instead of
100%.
being a double face.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
This might be the last question that we have. I mean, obviously, Riley was like, I'd like to discuss how much of a banger this song is.
Hey, Nelly Furtado, like, I don't care what anyone says. All the old school songs, they slap.
All the old school songs, and coming in collaboration with the Ziz pages on TikTok, they're making Hardstyles.
Yeah.
It's like, it's bringing back the 90s and the old songs into the new generation, but in a new way.
Yeah, it brings it in a new way. And I've got very mixed opinions on Hardstyle. Hardstyle itself, like, I can tolerate it.
Yeah.
It's the attitude that's coming with Hardstyle. So it's like, I see it on TikTok, on Instagram. People will be like, they'll put up a video of them being like, all right, gym bros unite, and they'll rip their shirts off, they'll flex, they'll dry scoop pre-workout.
I enjoy the music.
Yeah, the music's okay. I used to go...
I'd even Muzz, like, it's fun.
Dude, I when I was 18, 19, I was literally the dude that was at HQ every weekend. I'd get home at 6 a.m, I'd listen to Hardstyle, I'll drink, I'll do drugs, and just get home. And I was that person. Yeah. But now it's like, I'm getting old, and I'm like, it hurts my ears. Yeah. We all get old.
At some point, there's going to be a cut because we're closing down to 29 and the camera is going to stop recording. But a great question coming from Bass, and Bass and me are going to be sharing this stage coming this October. He has given a suggestion to kind of talk about mindset, finite versus infinite mindset. Like, how would I explain this? It's like, a person with a finite mindset is going to look at the positive side.
Yep, optimistic.
Basically optimistic, and infinite is like, For example, my coffee cup is almost empty, but it's still got like 10 mils of coffee. Optimistic mindset, I've still got 10 mils of coffee to drink.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's actually tea. But the other person will be like, and we are back.
And we're back.
Yeah, talking about the mindset. So yeah, what do you think about these two different types of mindsets and two different types of people?
Well, I mean, going into mindset it's a whole nother ballgame when you think of like the way the human brain works. But the way I think is I think in abundance. Like there is no, the biggest one is money, right? So a lot of people get triggered when they hear other people talking about money. I used to be one of those people. Like I would see someone post like, made 35 grand this week. And I'm like, that's my old year salary, right? And the way I would look at it is think, there's $35,000 less than I can earn. But now I think in abundance. There's so much money to go around in the world that if I miss out on a client here, I know there's 100 more clients out there that I'll be able to get. So
exactly.
I stopped capping everything to do with mindset and just started thinking that there is so much abundance in the world that whatever you want, you can actually just go and get.
Yeah.
Look at competing, for example, right? So you and, is it Bass?
Yeah.
So you're going to be sharing the stage together. Although one of you you both can't come first.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You might come second, but you might get a sponsorship opportunity, or you might get to go to another competition, or you might get also, as me as a coach, I might get a client from it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So rather than just thinking, oh, there's a winner and a loser, there's someone who's obviously going to walk away first, but then there's someone who can walk away with countless opportunities and learning experiences and happiness. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And coming from that, it's just not mindset. I don't remember what podcast I heard, but when we do episode 2, I'm definitely going to talk more about this. But for me to be successful, you don't have to fail. There's enough success out there for 100%. Both of us to be successful.
Yep.
And that leads us into, again, toxic fitness industries. People like trying to bring each other down. It's like, no, you can be successful. I can be successful doing the same thing. It's like you don't have to fail as a cost of my success. I don't have to fail as a cost of your success.
100%.
And the quicker the people, like, obviously not everyone's going to understand it because, again, mindset, different personalities.
Yeah.
But the quicker this message gets out into the fitness industry, the better it gets.
Yeah, there's enough to go around, and it works. Like, a prime example is I'm an online coach, right? My girlfriend is also an online coach. If we thought that there wasn't enough to go around, then her and I are in the same industry where we could potentially be competitors.
Yeah.
She coaches just females. I coach both men and females. But we could be competing against each other, but we have such an open mindset of there's so many clients out there to go around that we can get it.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at in another aspect, the other part of my business being a content creator, I'm a content creator, you're a content creator. One of our friends, Corey, is a content creator, and I spoke to him about this literally, I reckon maybe Monday or Tuesday, I think maybe even Sunday, where we don't want to steal other people's business. So there's so much to go around that it's like, if I can succeed and my friend can succeed and then his friend can succeed,
absolutely,
why not? Like,
because I was given an advice for some person who's Corey's working with that person.
Yeah.
It's like, hit them up. And it's like, no, I know Corey's working with them.
Yeah.
And it's going to be unethical on my part to
100%.
hit them up, because why would I fucking steal someone's client? Yeah. It's
exactly.
Like, it's not the matter that Corey's better than me, I'm better than Corey, I can make videos, he can make videos. It's about, there's a person working with someone.
Yeah. And
there's enough persons to go out and approach to into the field. So
there's so many people we can get in touch with.
Yeah. And again, like, coming to content creation, me commenting on your video, giving you engagement, is going to now take away from mine. So if I can help you grow, fucking up.
Then why not?
Well, like, you're not taking my audience away.
Yeah.
And even though my audience comes to you, that doesn't mean that they're leaving me.
Exactly.
It's like you're growing together. And just don't understand why people are like, oh, you my followers are commenting on your videos, why are you doing it? It's like,
who cares?
Yeah, it's like exactly.
It's like not letting someone use a set of dumbbells in the gym because you're worried that they're going to get bigger than you if they use them.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, my friend Will Chamberlain, who's another competitor. He started coaching as well. And we spoke about this a long time ago, like back in April or May or something like that. And we spoke about how coaches will put other coaches down to try and steal their business. Now, if you want to build the biggest building, you don't knock everyone else's down to make yours the biggest. You just go out and you fucking build the biggest building. You don't need to rip other people's businesses down to get there. Like, me as a coach, that's like going out and, you know, messaging everyone that my own girlfriend trains and being like, oh, hey, you should train with me. And it's like me going to all the people that like your content page and saying, hey, you should do content with me instead. Like, that just makes me a shit person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And like, I'm gonna say this right now. If you're doing this kind of stuff, I'm not like a big spiritual guy, right? I don't believe in everything's spirituality and shit. I do believe a little bit, but I'm a big believer in karma. Mm-hmm. If you're doing this, it's gonna come back to you. Like, it's gonna bite you in the ass.
Big time.
Yeah. And probably you won't know. Like, and then you're gonna be like, oh, why is this happening with me? I got to change my life. I got to change my mindset. That's gonna push you in a rabbit hole, and then you're like, then you're gonna be sending questions on podcasts like this. What do I do? So it all comes around. So don't be a douchebag. Yeah, there's enough success to go around. as long as you stay true to your work,
Yep.
as long as you stay consistent, because consistency is definitely like a big thing that
Yeah.
I was thinking of giving up on YouTube after my third video. But then I set up at the end of the video, like goal 90 subscribers by the end of the video.
Yep.
I opened it next morning, I'm at 100 subscribers. And it was
Perfect.
like a sign
Yeah,
that you can't give up.
Exactly. When I literally resigned from my full-time stable job,
Yeah.
I said to myself, I was like, I want to have 5 clients within 3 months.
Yeah.
And I hit that within the first 3 weeks. And I was like, now I'm here. I'm at a point where I'm able to travel and live my life and work from a cafe if I want to.
Yeah.
But if I went into it with such a closed mindset and thought, but there's so many online coaches out there.
And there's so many more experienced than me.
Yeah.
Even better than me because they've been doing it for a longer time.
Yeah, they got more followers, they're better looking, they compete, they have higher education. But I just went out there and I just started being myself, and I think people enjoy that I'm not the robot being like,
people enjoy your personality.
Exactly.
They appreciate it.
100%. That's how it worked when I was in real estate. Think about how many real estate agents are, especially now.
Yeah.
Everyone's a real estate agent. Everyone's a personal trainer.
Yeah.
But you can't have all the clients. So
yeah, exactly.
You might as well be yourself and be your authentic self, and people are going to gravitate towards that.
Comes back to my TikTok point when I was talking. Like, I've got 42k followers on TikTok.
Yeah, wow, flex.
It's not a big thing, but I take it as a compliment. But I step out into the gym right now. There's going to be 60%, 70% guys looking better than me.
100%.
But they don't have those followers. There's people make content in Adelaide who have better physique than me, but they don't have more followers or engagement than me.
Yeah.
The reason is that, again, I'm trying to portray my personality. I'm trying to connect with people.
Yeah.
And if people can literally see through your soul.
100%.
So if you're trying to be fake, people are like, I can see you, motherfucker. You're trying to
people will pick up on
out.
it. Yeah.
But if you're actually being yourself, if you're staying real, if you're being genuine,
authentic.
Yeah. People are gonna be like, I love the vibe.
Yeah.
They're gonna connect with you. Same with you.
Exactly.
Like, okay, you can go to a more experienced coach. Maybe they're almost the same price as you, a little bit expensive. Maybe they can go to a coach that is cheaper than you. Yep. Maybe they can go to a content creator that's cheaper than you.
Yep.
But they see that I like the vibe, I like the person.
Yeah.
And maybe some people even like when you're shooting content and you talk to your clients, it's like a conversation. It's like not just training part. I love having a good conversation with him.
Yeah.
That's what's building up your business. And then they tell their friends, they tell their families, like, I'm with this coach, but word of mouth. There you go. And that's how you just keep growing. So yeah, one of the best things can be to be yourself and not be a douchebag and do stupid stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think of it in there's 2 examples that come to mind with myself. One in content creation, one in coaching. Is the way I do my check-ins, right? You know what check-ins are like. You send in your photos, you feel uncomfortable, you haven't eaten, you send in your measurements, you fill out your form. The way that I give my feedback to my clients is I send a video, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up such a perfectionist with things like the photos I'll post, the things I'd write when I was in school, my homework, that if I ruined a video, a check-in video, I would almost restart it even if I was 4 minutes in.
Yeah.
Whereas one of my check-in videos, I remember I literally went to go, all right, point 1, and I missed my finger and I slapped myself in the face. And I was like, that's what I'm like. And then like I'd click out and the whole window would close. What I did was I actually cut that clip and I put it on my story, and I got 2 clients from that story because they could see that it was authentically me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
And that reel that I posted today, where it took me literally 8 minutes to figure out how to do a step up, that wasn't forced content. That wasn't even planned.
Yeah.
I literally pressed record, went to do step ups, couldn't figure out how to do it, and then just cut up the clip to the point where it's just authentic content.
Yeah.
Might not get views, might not get engagement, but I'm just being me. So yeah.
With that being said, 10 mils of coffee, tea, whatever you want to call it, but it was tea. It's done. And we're sitting at 40 minutes on, or we have a lot more to talk about. So that we're going to have Riley back again.
Yep, for sure.
For another episode. That's going to be a fun episode, and I'll post another sticker, but we'll not do a lot of questions because I do want to talk about the toxic fitness industry. Got to get into that a little bit. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, do make sure that you subscribe because that's really important. As I said, when I saw 100 subscribers, I was like, oh, this motivates me to keep posting. I'm going to post Riley's Instagram into the description, so
beautiful.
Check that out. My Instagram is going to be in the description. If you're not following me already, do it. What are you doing? You got to do it. And again, if there's anything you want us to talk about in terms of life, mindset, relationship, making gains, anything, cars, fucking whatever.
Literally anything.
Yeah, just maybe message me. You can message Riley because Riley's going to be in here for another episode. You can drop down a comment, and the only thing that I ask you after this episode is that if you did enjoy it, if you are here, I'm assuming that you enjoyed and you spent a fair bit of time.
40 minutes plus.
Yeah, you've spent a fair bit of time watching the episode. I just want you to like and maybe share this with one person. That one share is going to help me reach out to more people, and basically I'm investing my time, so really appreciate the support.
Beautiful.
And is there anything you want to say at the end?
First of all, thank you for having me on. This has been great. As you know, I've been wanting to do podcasts for a very long time, but they're hard to coordinate. So thank you for having me here on a Sunday afternoon. It's been good to talk about a lot of the things that you wouldn't actually talk about in a day-to-day life, like things like, mindset, overeating, all that kind of stuff. So
because all of this is like cliche. People are like mindset. Oh, you see videos about mindset, and it just gets normalized.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely great to have a chat with you. Do it again.
Yep, for sure.
Probably next week.
Yeah. No, look, I've got all the time in the world being a small business owner.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, thanks for everyone for tuning in. It's been good fun. If you need any help regards to fitness or coaching, or you just want any questions answered, my Instagram will be in the bio. So always here to help and banter as well.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in the next one. Great talking to you. And I'll be trying to bring the podcast on Spotify and maybe Apple Music, because I figured out some people love to listen to podcasts when they're driving and when they're walking.
Yeah.
And maybe you can't have a constant looking at your screen time. So yeah. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.
Cool. Thank you.